he may need security.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think we got him now there, John.
Okay. Ben Horney from Front Office Sports, nice enough to join us now. Ben, thank you for coming on, man. You were at the presser today, correct?
That's right, this morning. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, thank you. Now, here's my question that is being speculated because of the political times we live in. Some have speculated already that this is a Trump White House guy, Kash Patel, going after NBA people who have been critical of Trump in the past. Did you sense that at all? Is that real or not so much?
I didn't, to be honest, I didn't think that for even 1 second until you just said it. You know, a lot of these people that are involved in this, it's been reported that they were involved in this for a while. This has been happening and it exploded today, and we can get into it. But yeah, I didn't sense that.
So let's talk about, there are kind of two pieces. There's the poker piece, and then there is the kind of the Terry Rozier piece. Let's talk about the poker piece, which I find to be the most fascinating part of this. The idea that Chauncey Billups allegedly lured people into these games.
And maybe Damon Jones, too. Damon Jones and Chauncey, Ben, do I have that right? They're involved in both indictments?
So Damon Jones is named in both indictments. Chauncey Billups is only named in the poker indictment, but we'll get into it. It seems like he's involved in both.
Okay. So tell me describe this sort of gambling situation. This crazy idea that he's the face card luring people in. Who were the people that were lured in? Who got their money taken away from them?
Yeah, so we don't know the identities of the victims. What we do know is that there were allegedly mafia families involved in all this, and that they, for years, have been running these illegal underground poker games using people like Chauncey Billups. It was the allure of, I can play with someone famous like Chauncey Billups. But in reality, allegedly, everyone but the victim was in on the scam. And then it goes even a step further with the technology. I mean, did you guys read about that?
Yeah,
for sure.
The X-ray glasses and the
shuffling
machines
that had
been shuffling machines.
Yeah, contact lenses that let you see through cards. I mean, it's pretty deep.
If there's a movie, this is it right here, right?
Yeah. Now, they said that. They said it sounds like it's a Hollywood movie, but it's not. Kash Patel, to your point, the FBI director, he said this is mind-boggling. And honestly, in this situation, I put politics aside. It seems like regular everyday people were, again, allegedly getting scammed. In total, it was millions of dollars. And there was a lot of people involved in this. I mean, a lot of people knew this was happening and were helping to make this happen, including Chauncey Billups, which, I don't know him personally, but it's always just so jarring when it's someone you think you know so well because you watch them on TV for so many years, and then he's involved in this crazy conspiracy.
Ben, I just thought about this. The poker games, as you stated, were illegal by nature because nobody's paying taxes on them, and it's you can't. So it's weird to me that the FBI would come and claim all these people were victims. I understand how they were being cheated, but they're being victims of an illegal act. If I would have gone to the poker game, I would have been committing a crime myself just by showing up, wouldn't I?
That's an interesting point. I'm not the prosecutor, so I can speculate, but let's not take my word as fact.
You got it. Yeah.
I think that you're on to something, and my bet would be, the real criminals are the ones who were running the scam. And sometimes you have to get the big fish. And it's funny that I say that because in this case, the fish were the victims. They were getting lured in.
Yeah, I understand. I understand your point, though.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about the insider trading sort of aspect of this. Information that is confidential, that is released to gamblers potentially before anybody else knows it. You get money down, all that kind of stuff. This is basically insider trading is one of the aspects of this, right?
Yeah, again, Kash Patel described it as that. I think his quote was something like, this is the insider trading scandal of the NBA. This is, when I was saying before, I think Terry Rozier was linked to this back to January.
Right.
And this is the same investigation that ensnared Jontay Porter, who was banned from the NBA for life last year.
Yeah, so they've been monitoring this for a long time. Ben, do you know how they got caught. Normally in a betting scandal, what'll happen is somebody gives insider trading, like in this case, we'll use Damon Jones, tip somebody. I think in one of these reports it said, make a big bet on Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Because he knew the other team wasn't playing it. Traditionally, in point, I did a college thesis on point shaving. Traditionally, the way they get caught is it spikes people betting too much. Like one game, an average game, let's say that normally brings in a handle of 10,000, got 100,000. Is that how these guys got caught, or did they get caught a different way?
So I read the indictment today, and I have to say it's not totally clear exactly how they got caught, but what I can say is that there were over 20 law enforcement officials in the room today. This was an investigation that was done not just by the FBI. It was the NYPD was involved. There were 4 maybe agencies involved, local and federal. And I think that they were collecting information for a long time. And something what you're talking about might have had something to do with it. There might have been, hey, this was a little bit weird in this game. And I think that they were just collecting evidence until it really wasn't until now that they felt, okay, we have enough to go. Today is a crazy day. They arrested 31 people today.
Right. Now, do you have a sense for how many other people might be out there just nervous right now, whether it's people at these poker games or it's players who participated in some, any of that? Is there a lot of that out there, or is this fairly well contained?
So I wouldn't say that I'm confident in saying it's fairly well contained. I think it's the other thing. There were 8 or 9 unnamed co-conspirators just in this indictment. That just means people involved in these specific allegations that they didn't identify for one reason or another. It might be because they didn't have enough evidence to charge them with a crime. And that's actually where I wanted to get with the Chauncey Billups point. So Chauncey Billups was named, and he was arrested as being part of the poker scam. He was not named in the betting scam, but one of the co-conspirators, it was co-conspirator number 8, the description of him, I mean, it's clear that it's Chauncey Billups.
Yeah.
And it's someone who is an NBA player from the years match up exactly when he was drafted to when he retired. He started being an NBA coach in 2021. That's exactly when he started being a coach. And then the allegation was that that person told one of the named defendants that the Blazers were tanking and that a bunch of the Blazers players weren't going to play in a specific game. Well, guess who the Blazers head coach was? It was Chauncey Billups.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it for him. If that's true.
If that's
they can
true,
prove
yeah.
it. Yeah, that's bad.
Ben, I got one last thing for you. So generally speaking, when you get snarled up in an investigation like this, you might have the opportunity to be a cooperator, to lessen your sentence or the trouble that you're in by turning in other people or pointing to other people that might have been involved. Is that something that you think we're going to see?
I mean, you can't predict what people will do, but I do think that's what law enforcement wants. They were really clear. They said it a bunch of times. This is the tip of the iceberg. They said that these investigations are not closed. Just because they announced these indictments today doesn't mean that it's over with. They are still looking into this stuff. The people that were charged and arrested today are the people that they had enough evidence that they felt confident they could charge them with a crime. So if you're anyone who participated in these games, if you're an NBA player who was involved in any illicit activity, even if you're not sure whether it was definitely with these specific people, I'm sure that you're shaking in your boots today.
Yeah, Ben, really good stuff.
Yeah,
we appreciate
great,
you
Ben.
coming on, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, there's Ben Horney, Front Office Sports, joining us. That is fascinating. And tip of the iceberg is kind of scary, right?
Well, yeah, and like what he said, how about, are there more players or coaches that we don't know about?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, what a crazy story.
Amazing.
And
Weird,
boy, it
crazy.
took something like this to knock Wemby off the front page. I mean, Wemby was so spectacular last night. If you're Adam Silver, you had to be watching that game going, wow, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look what we have to market, and then you get hit with
Wake
this.
up to this, exactly.